So I'm going to go over just more of a backstory of how I got started in the industry, how I met Carlos, of course, and our three arms that we focus on. So got started in the industry 15 years ago, fell into it, honestly, thought I could sell anything, and was greatly intimidated by the industry. And Carlos will attribute to that. My first time being in the industry, I had no clue what I was doing. I faked it, right? So I faked the fact that I could sell the product. I had no idea the can of worms that I was literally getting into. First time I got a statement, I was broke down in tears for the simple fact that I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know how to read it until he pushed me. So Carlos has been my manager for the past 15 years. We worked at a previous company before we broke off into ClearPay Financial. ClearPay has three arms: an inside sales group, an outside sales group, and our development team. Carlos oversees a lot of the outside sales group, and he is also a managing partner for ClearPay Financial. He's out of corporate, well, he was out of corporate, but he runs the office in the Minneapolis division. He is my go-to for relationships, for my partnerships. I received a referral from Wood Stevens for extra credit donations. Carlos helped me oversee that. So I'm going to kind of hand the floor over to him, which I'm thankful that he's here. Drove down last night at about, what time did you get in?
About midnight.
Midnight from Minneapolis. So please help me welcome Carlos.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone, for having me.
Oh, yeah. He calls me Chris. So for the record, in Milwaukee, it's Chris. Here, it's Christopher.
And for him, I'm Mr. Clean. So, thank you once again. Thank you to Christopher and to the Germantown Comedy Troupe. You guys are hilarious. I mean, usually, I'm a longtime member of BNI. Chris is in BNI because I've told him for many years he needed to join a group. I'm about 10 years, and I've held multiple leadership roles, and I've held every possible seat that I can have in the merchant space. Literally, every possible seat. When we started ClearPay, I decided to stay in Minneapolis because I didn't want to move back to Milwaukee. And I operated in the merchant space as an ISO, as my own LLC. Training, hired, recruit, operations, support, maintenance, quicker picker-upper, all of the above. And I oversee our outside production for the company. I also oversee our partnerships and groups. And one of the things that have come out of some of the development work that we've done is this project that we've been working on within the big data healthcare space. Okay, and that's really why I came down today, because we have several other meetings today to be a bit more specific within that space. This morning, I'm just going to touch on it a little bit briefly as an introduction. What ClearPay co-founded Big Data Healthcare LLC, and what Big Data Healthcare is doing is it is tackling the hospital, medical billing. Within that space, if I say remittances, do you guys know what I mean? Okay. Whenever we as consumers or insurance companies send any information, it could be a payment, could be an update, could be a change to policy. When that information comes into those groups, it is manually touched and accounted for. That's still the process. What we've done is we've created a product called Fuse. And what Fuse is doing is it's automating that process. We're able to target a third of someone's accounting department to reallocate them as other resources into other areas. We're also able to reduce their cost by the time spent. And this is really irrelevant of credit card processing. This is a new project for us. We've been working on this for about almost 2.5 years. And it is live, and it's functional. We've got over 300 MIDs, which are individual accounts that are working within this process. It is completely automated. It is cloud-based. Our installations take between 1 day to a full week, no matter the size of the hospital group or clinical group. We did one that was about 67 locations, and it took us 3 days to implement. So, very cost-effective way to automate a process that within that medical space is still very tedious and very manual. And we're able to target, even initially, up to 80% accuracy. And that doesn't happen. So that, in a sense, is what Big Data Healthcare is doing. What we do outside of that covers multiple industries, covers multiple grounds. Those that are clients, I recognize the names. I might not know you personally, but I do recognize the names. I do see and touch everything that comes through our doors. That can be tedious, but as a whole, ClearPay does roughly 120 to 130 new clients a month. If you guys haven't had a chance to meet Chris, and for some reason, he hasn't slowed down yet. I don't know why. He still hasn't slowed down yet. I'm surprised. I thought you guys would have reined him in a little bit. But he's always spoken quickly and efficiently. He does an amazing job with his customers. Our structure is built so that it is truly the sales individual's responsibility to keep you, the client, happy.
Is this the ICD-10 coding?
You know, I am not smart enough to answer that.
Good enough.
Our targets are the consultants that are in that space, are the RCM. I mentioned RCM earlier today. It is Revenue Cycle Management. That is a title within an executive managerial role within the medical space that is ideally targeting this process. They understand the process, they know the process, they understand the language. I will not be the one talking to them about it. Someone from Big Data Healthcare will be doing that. They present, they answer questions, they assess the scenario, and we've been able to minimize some of that expense. We've minimized the time spent, but overall, yes.
Do you have, what is the best solution for a small business owner that is launching, that may do between 15 and 20 transactions a month? Can you help that customer?
We can. The benefit when we're looking at just clients in general, we have products that we can use that will allow us to set up a new client, a new business. Might be zero volume. What's the best way to set up an account with zero volume? Is that in our best interest to do so? You know what? I think you mentioned that you always do a pro bono case every month. It doesn't matter. Some of my best introductions have come from zero volume accounts. They value what we've done for them. They appreciate it. We've kept costs low. And they've introduced me to CEOs and executives in other companies that are much, much larger than they are. So it's really irrelevant to us. We treat everyone the same. We offer wholesale to all clients, both large and small. And it is absolutely our responsibility, not only Chris, but myself as well. I still handle all my own personal referrals. I do oversee a lot more, but I still make sure that I personally am seeing 7, 8 new clients a month, just from a referral basis, from an introduction basis. BNI isn't the only thing that I do. I have been around BNI for a long time, but I'm also prior military. So I'm involved in an organization called Trust Vets, which started in Minnesota, but is expanding across the country. Whether it's chamber organizations, associations, groups, partnerships, that's really where I spend a lot of my time and energies. And of course, answering questions. So, are there any other questions? Oh, we still have 2 minutes. Chris shorted himself 2 minutes. He told me I had 5
Go ahead.
minutes.
If I could ask one, like for a doctor's office, like
Yes.
how do they benefit from this
Big data?
plan that you all are rolling out?
Well, from my understanding, single locations is not what we're after. We're after multiple locations. So I think with a minimum of 8 to 10 locations.
Ideally, it's a product. Big data product is a billing product.
Okay.
It's a billing and accounting product. So
Okay.
if it is an individual location, say 5 or less, it may not be cost effective for them,
Okay. So like
but it would take a conversation.
12
10 plus.
Okay.
10 plus is ideal.
Okay.
On average, we're billing anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 a month.
Okay, that would be.
So it might sound like a lot, but when we look at it and we say that it actually is less than 1 employee, and you can take, if you have a 10-person accounting department, you can take 3 or 4 of those employees and reallocate them to something else. We've truly maximized the output of those individuals. So once again, it varies. Do we have another question over here?
Kelly did.
Yeah, I have a question. So from a previous life, I dealt with a lot of healthcare revenue cycle management customers, and one of the big pain points they had is around private pay. So they get the EOBs and the payments from the insurance company, but then there's a third party that comes in and pays.
Yep.
Is that the part that you help, or do you help on the bigger part?
We can deal with those consultants that are bringing those products. We can deal with the medical billing companies that are actually billing. What we see within that space from medical billing companies, they charge anywhere from 40 to 60 cents per transaction. And the reason why I say it may not be as cost effective is an organization must have around 5,000 claims, or
Oh, they
around
would.
5,000 touch points.
They've got, yeah,
So then it may make sense, so
okay.
it's worth the conversation.
Okay.
And that's what I always say. We always try to be our best resource for all questions. And, you know, make sure that you can go to Chris or Christopher or myself, and we'll be able to address those questions. Yeah. All right. Thank you all.